Yo, yo, how we doing? How we doing? Good to be back. I'm running so far behind this evening. I have a few too many things on the go today. Trying to wrap up a few things in the on the business side of things. Starting new stuff tomorrow. Trading, paying other contractors, and I still haven't gone through my review stuff. So I figured I'd get this in. It's gonna be a late night, and I didn't want to hop on here once everyone's in bed. So I got chopped in Tesla. Yeah, yeah, that was wild. This little 11 a.m. shove was not easy to hold through. Once we got these little bouncing ball and this 338 fail right through here, that's typically a nice setup risk reward wise. Pops back into it. I traded TSLT and ended up with two losses on it. Small size here, and then was a bit bigger here, scaling in, and ended up stopping out when it firmed up back over the 2870s. But yeah, it didn't amount to much for me either. Then seeing this thing fade $4 by midday, but that little grind there into 11 a.m. I don't think was easy to hold through. DXYZ on the other hand was a lot easier. I covered my overnight short. Got a nice $6 or $7 from my entry down to here. And then I was hoping for pops, so I let it pull off the open. Let it shove through high a day, which in the past was me stopping out through highs. So I figured I would take advantage of everybody stopping out. Shorted, covered. Shorted, covered. Shorted, covered. Shorted, covered. Shorted, covered, shorted, covered, shorted, covered, shorted, took a loss, reshorted, covered, shorted, covered, and that was it. Yeah, the plan for Q was just saying he took it off his list. The plan for this was the same kind of trade as DJT, just trying to learn from my mistakes because the 29th was the day I traded it. Right here. So this was the gap up parabolic day, and you get this nice washout. So I'm thinking I caught the meat of the move. It already had its $10 pullback, and it held up sideways into close, and then the next day was the gap down. And once you got rid of the opening chop, this thing was just bidless versus VWAP all day, closed at the lows. So that was my idea for something like DXYZ. And so far, it's working. Sorry about that. Dealing with some things. DXYZ was so much cleaner. It makes sense because it's not really market related to crypto, Trump, and SPY. Yeah, it's in like the Elon Trump basket just because they own so much SpaceX. But once it started to disconnect yesterday was kind of the tell where this thing was fading. So basically from 1040 down to 120 And if you look at Tesla from 1040, and it just kept grinding to highs while DXYZ was making lows. So that was relative weakness for me. So up until then, I was trading it in sympathy with Tesla. But once it showed relative weakness, I figured this one would be a bit of an easier trade. So I'd basically be looking to fade this. All pops as long as 31 doesn't firm up, 30 to 31. And look for those mid-20s. If we get another monster gap down, I'd like to see it separate from 30s. So I'd prefer to short this tomorrow. I'd need to see like a huge gap down for me to look to hit a reversal on this. But I do think the reversal trade will be in the cards. But it's so far has held green on the way up and has held red on the way down. So ideally, small little opening pop acts as the high of day for the rest of the day and just fizzles out to the mid-20s. Chris B sold my Tesla yesterday, even though I felt could have gone higher. But now after the fade, I feel better. Really wanted to go higher, but after hearing all the shorts eyeing, I had to lock profits. Sounds good. Chris, congrats on the long. Yeah, I didn't short Tesla today. I would have been more interested in Tesla itself on a gap up parabolic. But like I showed here, it was failing to follow through prior day's lows and opening range lows. And it just needed one more squeeze out, I guess. It did just enough to shake me out before doing what I wanted. What's up, D? What's up, El Jefe? Yeah, I wouldn't hate the long. Like, yeah, if it were to gap down there into 23s, I'd have a hard time not buying that because that would be my cover target anyways. Sorry, still dealing with some things. Okay, so I'll probably... Those were my only trades, I think. Oh, Frey. I traded Frey, I guess. Oh, that's why I didn't really mention it. I was looking for that 240 break. It stuffed right off of it, hard crack. So anybody buying into these highs would have gotten freaked out, so I was reacting to that emotion. If it got bought up real quick, I would have looked to scale versus these lows, but VWAP acted heavy, so I sold that for next to nothing. But that 240 is definitely going to be on watch. I like that it put in another inside day here, so ideally can build off of this, not break below 180s, and possible breakout there. Foxo, a bit harder to trade, choppy just as it was the prior day, and then just as choppy here today. You get this failed follow through setup, slams down, retest, fizzles out, and then ends up right back to where it came from. So I don't know. It's a hard name to be long. when it fades from 130 down to 70, or this day from 1 down to 60 and then ends up right back near highs. Look at this, like 90 down to 50 and right back near highs. Okay, sorry. Extremely Josh, I like the way you do it. Thank you. Getting in where I fit in, making some memories. That's how I do it. I think my focus will be small cap gappers tomorrow. I don't really have anything on watch for tomorrow. Maybe DXYZ if it gaps down enough. Yes, Luke says yo. Yeah, let me just, I'll pull up my scanners. I haven't ran scans, I haven't read chat logs. I don't even know what was going on today, so I will, let me just share my FinViz screen. And then we can run through this a bit together. Yeah, Bitcoin names. I think we're getting some action tomorrow for them. I saw some mentions of GNS. That one's looking pretty nice. Wow, what a trap. That's crazy. PR in the morning on a Bitcoin PR. They've never been involved in Bitcoin before. But Bitcoin's going wild, so they put out a PR on it. So it obviously faded right back. It was just fluff. But shorts were still in there. And man, it popped them. And then especially after hours on no volume. Crazy. So I will definitely be adding this. Shop, I noticed this one into close. Look at this little failed follow through setup here. 110, 111 lines up with VWAP. Once you get that fail, Little fail follow through. Nice little multi-dollar washout. Mullen. This thing's a POS. Throw that one on watch. Higher this thing goes, the better. I'd love to short this again. Let me pull up. God, there's so much going on. Mullen garbage, yes, I agree. LPA asks Luke. Nope. You're focusing on a lot of the wrong names, Luke. A lot of the ones you're bringing up. You gotta be focusing on stuff with volume, with action, charts, not just random names. Focus on broken slot machines, stuff where there's edge. Yeah, this BTCT is so thin. And when they move like this, I have such a problem trying to short these. Like, it's up from 2 to 16, 2 to 17. Look at that volume profile right there. So, like, do I want to short it? Like, if 9 acts as a top, do I want to short it? Yes. But, like, I'm always so worried about these things just swiping and getting, like, those fat tail risk of these low floaters. How's DJT doing? Fading, of course. Fun, fading, of course. Wow, save. Look at that. This was known. Like, they're going bankrupt. SAVE. Let me pull up a few charts over here. I'll pull it up on my Finviz stuff. I was just reading some chat logs. Look at this. Oh, it was after hours. It won't even show on here. Okay, let me run through some scans here. Scanners, breakouts. Let's see what we got. 100 names. Holy smokes. That guy just looks like a screaming short. Tesla, first red day with all its ETFs. These are all names we're already watching. Travs is just curious. Any interest on Hover for a day 3? A little far from good. Risk reward now for me. You've got alerts set over highs though? Question mark. HOVR. I know I don't have my chart up. I'm just looking at it, answering some questions here. Day 1 failed runner. Not really interested in playing a breakout like that. Prefer something to prove it can run first and then consolidate. Save is definitely not Carvana 2.0. It's down at the lows. I can second. Save got smoked. It's definitely not Carvana. It is getting decimated. I was thinking of waking up at 1 or 2 a.m. again to long some of these low floats. You are insane. Are you still watching Speeple for tomorrow? I'm good though. Jenica asked if I'm still watching Speeple. It's not really like a like last night it wasn't a watch for today, or today it's not a watch for tomorrow. This is just looking like a failed follow through daily setup to me. As it's it's run, it's pulled, and it's starting to round over. If this breaks back below $1 and 120 doesn't breach, I think this would fade back to the 50, 60 cents just quietly kind of thing. But it would be more of a quiet fader idea until it started to prove itself and perk back up. I was hoping this bounce would start to extend itself a bit more, kind of like Frey did on its pullback, just get right back near highs. So I am kind of watching it, but it's not really like it's only trading 1 million shares a day, possible $1 off 120 failed follow through for a quiet fader, but I'd probably just rather set price alerts up here, $182, and just take it off radar personally. Yeah, we had a bunch of these TSLL, all same kind of thing, where they had that tough 11 a.m. bounce and then faded off back to lows. Let's see what else we got. GNPX, nice bounce back there. That was that failed follow through name I was watching. This could fade back right to where it came from. It's right back up into resistance, but not really a setup I trade. Thoughts on Zero? Interested in Foxo tomorrow? Either make or break over 1. Zero. Too cheap to short. That billion share day typically has nice day 2 gap ups, and this one didn't fail. No matter how weak these things close, they always seem to gap up. But like chart wise, I'd want to see like a 22 fail and short this thing back down, but it's consolidating right over day 1. Chart wise, that's what I would like, but it's too cheap, so I'm not going to short it unless it starts to extend itself. But now with the close right around 25, 26. As long as 22 continues to build, there's no real reason for this to pull back any farther. I'd like to see it hold up for one more day in this little consolidation range and then possible rebreak. But it's not really a setup I'd want to trade tomorrow. I think if it's below 22, I think pops fail versus 22 and it fades back to the low teens is what I think. But I'm not going to short it to make 7-8 cents. It's just not worth it. Foxo asks a couple people. Yeah, it's just a choppy name. Like I said at the beginning of this, where this thing just pulled from 130 down to 80 cents. And it's still holding up. Yesterday pulled from 1 down to 60 cents, and it went all the way to 130 today. Like the hard cracks just the harder cracks just aren't killing it, but it's shaking out all the longs and making the trend a lot less crowded. So at some point, it probably shakes out enough longs that there's nobody left long, and there's no more sellers, and it just starts to pick up. But it's just so choppy. I'd rather avoid the headache than try and make a couple bucks personally. All about less stress for me. And was I stressed trading something like DXYZ yesterday and today? Not in the slightest. So that's where I'd like to sit. BTM was a Bitcoin name. Did not want to participate. This could be... Could this be a T+1? It's so far off its highs, unfortunately. Volume is all up here. Between 280 and 3. That'd be pretty tough. The daily chart looks like it wants to go, but tough. We had color. I missed that one because I was focusing on DXYZ, but a nice plan from the watch list there. For the first time it goes red. I didn't short it just because I was looking for a gap up and parabolic into the 50s, and we got a slight gap up and then fail. So it just didn't seem extended enough for me. It pulled from 46 midday, went down to the 30s. I would have been out by 11, so I would have got the 46 to 40 pull, which, again, to make 6 cents, I just don't really care. Do you look for how big major levels are? Yes. Major levels and how they correspond with the volume associated at those levels. That's what support and resistance is. It's where most of the traders are and how it's reacting to those in a nutshell. Was RUM earnings today? Or was it? Yeah, it was. Okay. Got smoked, of course. CLDI. That was that wicks on the daily and finally started to speed up there today. No position on it for me, but notable move. Yeah, I'm in Vancouver. You stalking me? ZVIA. That daily catching my attention. I'm in Surrey. Oh, that's funny. Just down the road, eh? Yeah, unfortunately this thing is super illiquid, but that's a nice daily anyways. But not worth it. Let me just finish. Get a couple more scans here. BTCT keeps popping. BTCS hitting some scans. That daily's going nuts. Gosh, look at that. Just out of nowhere, man. Zero trend. Like, this is what drives me nuts. Yes, there's volatility, but if you're not chasing this, and if you're not shorting parabolics, the range on it after that is just non-existent. I hate that. It drives me nuts. You're a good-looking guy to watch, but I had to go pretty late. Appreciate that, Jenica. Enjoy your sleep. Judah, what's going on, buddy? How we doing? Is Judah a subscriber? Is that what's going on? How'd you know I was here? That's why BTCS doesn't bother me. Yeah, exactly. That's been the way so many of these Bitcoin names have been going. Like, I imagine BTCT, like if Bitcoin, what's it? I think it's pulling back, isn't it? It was pulling back today. I mean, a pullback. It's down from 90 to 87, kinda. But like I imagine if this fails 9 and pops verse 9, I'd imagine this fades back right to where it came from. But I hate the market when there's nothing sustained. Like stuff like DJT. Like this is where I like to make my money. Stuff like Fun. Stuff like DXYZ. Like these are like where I like to make my money. When stuff just people hop from one to the next to the next to the next, it just drives me nuts. Yes, there's action. Yes, there's volatility, but make it tradable. Judah's comparing GMPX with LGVN a few months back and TVGN now. Let's check out TVGN. Yeah, I was trading this one on that daily failed follow through the 220s for a quiet fader. Same kind of setup as GNPX here on this higher low trend break. Faded that for a few days. Now I just feel like it's pops in the downtrend. Like if I could get a big enough shove back up here, gap up, parabolic 250 test, get a nice little sit back. LGVN a few months back. Oh, nice. Okay. I see what you're looking at. Little curl move here. A little bit less consolidation. Still probably got the roughly the same amount of bag holders with the amount of volume it traded. But nonetheless, I do see what you're looking at. You popped up on my YouTube home? Nice! Man, my name's getting out there. I'm a big deal now. Not even paying for ads. We're popping up. Algo's working. Yes, I'm hoping some of these set up for third day move. No gold diggers in chat, Jenica. She's trying to butter me up. Give me compliments on my looks just to take my money. She's probably not even real. She's probably AI. You heard that joke where back in the day they had Wonder Woman. Now these days we have to wonder if they are a woman. I saw you on YouTube ad. You guaranteed 100% win rate. Yep, Judah. We were just talking about that one not too long ago. Someone had just asked a question on it, but it's so far it looks like it's had its front side move, faded off, and now kind of starting to round over. If this breaks back below $1, I think a dollar break versus a 120 risk, I think it probably fizzles out back to the sub $1, 60, 70 cents. But ideally, I'd like to set price alerts up here in the 160s, 180s, and have it start to perk out of this range and actually come back to play. Like we were just saying, I like the daily structure plays more than just these pop and drop, trying to hop from one to the next. So hopefully. Still running through scans, so I know I'm missing a bunch of stuff. Lunar looks like something Judah would like. He's probably inside of her. Do that $10 break. Bigger cap. UPST bounce. If that day one gap low continues to support. Blue looking decent compared to others. Oklo. NNE. SMR. SMR as of today. I think Oklo earnings tomorrow or this week. Let's check it out. Oklo earnings November 14th after market close. That was on scan last week. Okay, so let's check out here. SMR and Oklo, holding up. Oklo, double top, SMR, NNE. Bigger picture, they move too slow for me. UPST, a bit more volatile. That one was earnings. Yeah, I don't hate that idea. You've got nice range, like all the volume on those days were traded up there in the upper 70s, and then just kind of quiet lows here, right back to support. You can get like a morning high set and then join that opening range break for a retest back up into those 70s. I don't hate that idea. What's your pre-market scan criteria? Super wide. It's like up 8%, trading like $200,000 volume. I don't really get ideas from the morning scans. It's typically from the day before. So I don't scan too much. RGTI. I don't have a float scan for the morning. I like to look at everything that's moving. Frey, I like the looks of this through that 240s. It's holding up. Something like this to continue to build. So ideally happens tomorrow. So it holds this higher low trend to get that 240 trigger. Would be nice. Man, I can't believe save after hours. That's wild. It was known they were going out of business, going bankrupt. I guess it was just a short all pops. Wonder if Portnoy's still long that thing. Okay, 2 more scans here. Just give me a minute. Don't want to miss anything. What's Workhorse doing? I like the looks of this. This looks nice. This looks nice. This is more my speed. Some sustained momentum, some blow-off volume, some intraday failed follow-through off these 160s. You got stuff like DJT fizzling, Tesla fizzling, so all the Trump basket is giving back the recent moves. And Workhorse was up, like it's a recent Trump, no, I shouldn't say recent. It was a Trump name back in like 2020, 2021. If I can go back. Way back here. Everyone was calling this a Trump pump. So I like the fails on that one today. Higher the better tomorrow. Fade back to the low ones. It's just a trash name as well. Like it never belongs to be up. Doesn't deserve to be up ever. Okay, last one. BSTE just getting smoked day after day. Drug gave up. Had that little perk attempt. Z-Car, how's that one holding up? Trash. Elwis, that one back at lows. Yep, once the pump walks, nothing but paper. Yep, I got Mullen on watch as well. Asked Base Hunter. That one is also just a trash name. It's up enough. Higher the better. If we can get something like this, or you get the gap up, parabolic, like that for a round trip. But otherwise, just a waiting for it to run. They've got warrants in the pipeline. Just a habitual diluter. It will end up back at lows eventually. It's just a matter of time. But it's not going to get up into prior resistance, so it'll just be playing off its current action for me. So it'll just be a higher the better trade. I'd never long this, but I'd look higher the better for a short. Do you play options? Nope. Wouldn't touch the stuff. Haven't touched it before. I listen to people like Chris and stuff in IU that make comments on it and how it drives certain larger cap names. I like trading larger caps for like overextension, mean reversion into like that Thursday, Friday options expiry. But I don't trade the options specifically. I just tend to add them to my thesis. Roland's conference in Vancouver, asked Luke. Yeah, I was there. I had done one with Roland. He had just a small little group. We went to a few dinners and just hung out. Showed him around the city. He said he liked it. He said he wanted to come back with his family. I've known Roland for years. Like back in like 2018, 2019, I used to trade in his office down in Arizona. Um, so yeah, we chit chat all the time. It's nice to meet up and hang out in person. But he's a good dude. We did that other one with Traders for a Cause too in Vancouver. Um, I was out here with Zach, showing him around. Ooh, we had like 100 people show up to that one. That was good. El Jefe, GNS. Yeah, GNS is higher the better as well. It's a Bitcoin simp. It's gonna end up back at lows. It's just a matter of when, not if. So they're just running this, taking advantage of all this Bitcoin hype. Trap shorts off that gap this morning. So it will fade back to lows. It just whether it's tomorrow or a few days from now, I don't know. Um, but yeah, this is another piece of trash. GNS has warrants in the area it's in. Good to know. Thank you, Base Hunter. Yeah, if I could get like a 70% or more gap up, I likely trade it as like a gapper, a day two gap and crap. But stuff like GNS, Mullen, Workhorse, all those types, I think I need to see where they're at tomorrow. Like I could be making plans off of levels that aren't even going to be in play tomorrow. If they gap down way below their after hours levels, if they gap up through their after hours highs, then it just kind of ruins the thesis and all the prep. So I think it's just a matter of waking up in the morning, seeing where we're at, and just knowing that I'd never long them, but higher the better shorts. What's up with this one? ETHA. Just no volume, man. Looks alright, but there's just no volume there for follow through. Okay. Do you use Dilution Tracker lots? I don't even have a subscription to Dilution Tracker. I learned how to read SEC filings using BAMSEC, so I never really saw the reason to pay for a service that I can do by myself. Sure, it saves time, but I also think it's good practice and edge in being able to find the finer things within the filings, knowing what to look for and how to search them. Base Hunter says thanks for these, no problem. Could be Bass Hunter, like maybe he's a fisherman and I've been calling him Base Hunter this whole time. Maybe he's a fisherman and he hunts bass. It is! Man, I'm an idiot. Took me this long just to figure that out. I thought like bass is like spelt the same for an instrument, like when you're slapping the bass, you know? Isn't that BASS as well? Like maybe you're just looking for really good woodwind instruments. Luke's gonna change his name to Violin Hunter. Yeah, Luke talks about chicken in here for some reason. Costco chicken when he's talking about stocks. He's asking me if I got convection, like I'm cooking a chicken in an oven. Okay, so I'm gonna throw Workhorse, Mullen, and GNS in the same basket as higher the better trash names. Waiting for him to top out and look to join that backside. BTCS and BTCT, I'd throw that in the basket as recent runners, one-day runners. That if Bitcoin pulls back, I think these pull back just as hard because it's the only thesis and only reason that they're up. What else? XOM, that thing continues to hold the 119s. Frey, looking for that 240 breakout. DXYZ, all pops I like for a failed follow through. Let me get rid of this stupid line. Driving me nuts. Ideally, this has another red day, and then I can look to mean revert this thing on Thursday, Friday. So higher the better, using that 3130 area as a guide. Basically would want to see prior day's lows fail, and then 31s act as a top. Have prior resistance start to act as resistance again. Prior support, prior resistance, now recent support. Ideally acts as resistance again and get that fade to the mid-20s. Foxo, I doubt this thing is going to clean up its act. It's just way too choppy for me to want a headache. Tesla, that thing's had most of its range I would have been looking for, so. Holding any crypto, I've never bought or owned crypto. Thoughts on TMQ? Yeah, we were watching that one the other day. I've got that little wedge drawn there. It broke below it, right there. Did get saved, however. I've got 110 price alerts set on this name. So I won't play it until it starts to break above this volume profile, but trading 500k in a day is just not nearly enough volume for me to want to trade that, would be my thoughts. So wait for a PR, wait for volume, set some price alerts, and don't watch it. Between Workhorse, Mullen, and GNS, probably BTCT and Frey tomorrow, I think I'll have plenty on watch and see where they're gapping by the open. Man, I can't believe I was showing on some people's homepage for their YouTube. That's crazy. The consistency is working, baby. Alrighty, I think I can wrap it up there. Long enough video. I've got a bunch of work to do this evening, so I need to buckle down and get to it. Gonna be a late night. Try to get some sleep so I'm not tired for tomorrow. Alrighty. Thank you guys for stopping by, chit-chatting. I like the interaction as always. I like seeing the regulars in here. A few new names. So, yeah, thank you guys for coming in, watching the watch list. As always, get in where you fit in. And like El Jefe said, make some memories. I'll be seeing you guys in the room. Peace.